This is the RGB Multizone controller system. It consists of a handheld remote and a controller receiver, allowing you to select any shade of any colour and multiple settings on the RGB LED strips. To wire the complete kit, you will require the following: the RGB LED tape, the controller receiver, and the transformer. Each controller receiver will work with either 12 volts or 24 volts and has a maximum output of 3 times 5 amps per receiver. That means a maximum wattage of 180 watts for 12 volt and 360 watts for 24 volt. Firstly, take your transformer and wire the positive cable into one of the input positives and wire the negative cable in one of the input negatives. The positive cables will either be red or brown, and the negative cables will either be blue, black or white. For our terminal transformers, you simply wire plus to plus and minus to minus. The LED tape should have 4 coloured cables coming out of it: red, green, blue and black. Black goes to the red plus on the receiver, the red cable goes to the red minus, blue goes to the B minus and green goes to the G minus on the receiver. You can extend the cables using 4-core cable and a connector block. You can also wire multiple strips into one receiver as long as the total amount of the LED tape wattage does not exceed that of the total of the transformer. All of the LED strips wired into that receiver will all be synchronized. To power the LED system, you can now either plug your transformer into a standard 3-pin wall socket or wire directly to an on-off light switch. Either way is advised to turn off the transformer when not in use. To pair the remote to the receiver, you first decide what channel you want the receiver to be. You can select between 1 to 10, and if you choose the same number for more than one receiver, they will all be synchronized. Please note, even if you select different channels for each receiver, you can select all of the channels to be synchronized. This will be explained further in the video. First, clear the receiver by holding down the black button for around 8 seconds. The red light should come on and go off when complete. The next step is to make sure the red light on the remote control is on. Be aware that this will go off again if unused after around 5 to 10 seconds due to going into standby mode. In quick succession, turn the handheld remote controller on, tap the button on the controller receiver, then select your channel, e.g. 1, then select B+. After this, move the colour wheel and you should now be paired. This receiver will now have master control on that channel number. To have a slave control in the same zone, you simply follow the same steps but miss out the B+. You can now individually turn this channel on and off by holding down the channel that you have selected it to. You can easily mistake the receiver for not being paired if that channel's lights are in the off mode. You can tell if the receiver is paired by if you move your thumb on the colour wheel, the red light on the receiver will flash as you press. To get the lights to turn back on, you simply hold down the channel number for a couple of seconds. To pair a receiver to another channel, you follow the same process but use a different number, e.g. 2. You tap the button on the receiver, select the number 2 and click B+, and then select the colour wheel. You can now control each zone independently by clicking that number followed by selecting a setting. As before, to select a slave on the same channel, you follow the same process but miss out the B+. You can turn on and off each zone independently by holding down that channel button, or you can turn off all of the lights together by turning off the off button. To synchronise multiple zones, you select the zones you wish in quick succession, one after another, e.g. 1 then 2, and then select a setting. This controller has various options. The colour wheel selects any shade of any colour by moving your finger or thumb around it. The B+ and the B- on the remote control are to increase and decrease the brightness. If you look at the red, green, blue and yellow buttons at the top of the remote, the yellow button is not used with this LED tape. By tapping the red, you will see 100% red added to the LED tape, and if you tap red again, this will remove it to 0. This is the same process for red, green and blue. If you press all three colours making them 100%, you will get a pure white. You can then reduce the amount of each primary colour to create different shades of whites. To do this, you hold a colour down for 2 seconds until a red light comes on. The thumb wheel then becomes the option to increase and decrease this colour, clockwise to increase and anti-clockwise to decrease. If you switch power off to the transformer, the controller will still remember the last setting. By clicking the M button on the receiver, you will select through various different modes, including colour scrolls and flashes. The S plus and the S minus buttons are to increase and decrease the speed of each mode. Please subscribe for weekly videos on LED installations, wiring, controllers and more.